This is not for the faculty, but this is for the students. Some who are from the University of Law and Research. Can anyone tell me under what act is the Meghalaya Human Rights Commission constituted? There is an act. The Meghalaya Human Rights Commission did not just come into existence out of nowhere. So there is a particular act. Can I ask some of the students? You're too shy. It's a 3-member commission. One member is who has been a judge or a district judge. I think he has to be a district judge for 10 years, with 7 years of experience. And one member is a non-judicial member to be appointed from among persons having knowledge or practical experience in matters relating to human rights. Apparently government in its wisdom must have thought that a policeman would have a better understanding of human rights, probably after having been on the other side of the fence. It's a 3-member commission. One member is who has been a judge or a district judge. I think he has to be a district judge for 10 years, with 7 years of experience. And one member is a non-judicial member to be appointed from among persons having knowledge or practical experience in matters relating to human rights. Apparently government in its wisdom must have thought that a policeman would have a better understanding of human rights, probably after having been on the other side of the fence of the commission. So all the administrative work is generally handled by the secretary. Currently, I think I'll leave it for you to see. Basically, rights relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individual guaranteed by the Constitution. Any idea on which part of the Constitution? And embodied by the covenants and enforceable in courts of India, and are defined internationally, nationally and locally by various law-making bodies. Now basically, we have rights, we are humans, so we are human. So that's where broadly, that's where human rights, that's the definition of human rights. Now, for the sake of easy understanding, we have divided the human rights, our human rights, everyone's human rights, into 5 categories. Civil rights, the right to be treated as an equal to anyone else in society. My part 3 is very elaborate. It's so elaborate, so I've just crystallized some of what our perceptions of the human rights and put it into different categories. One is the civil rights, one is your political rights. Everyone here has a civil right, has a political right. Right to free speech. You're welcome at the end of the session to quiz our Honorable Chairperson. Non-discrimination on grounds of sex. This has also now become, gender equality has become it's a buzzword, in workplace, in everywhere. So these are some of the civil rights, your rights, and right to marriage. You are free to marry who you want. But there are some caveat or whatever. Can anyone tell me? Not you, someone else. What is you are free to marry, but there is a catch to it, no? At least in the Indian, under Indian law. Anyone?
Age.
Huh?
Age.
What's the age?
18 years.
Can't hear you.
18 and 21.
Okay. So, free to marry, but girls have to be over 18 and boys have to be over 21. Why that age? We can debate it some other time. Now I come to some of the political rights. Can anyone tell me? Let me see what you have to say. What political right does each of you have? Yeah? Okay then. I can't. Beg your pardon? Yeah, right to vote is one. What else? Good. Right to contest elections. But I think there must be also some, I don't know, age bar or something, or educational bar. I don't know these details, minor details. And what else?
Right to participation. Participation, right to participation.
Right to participate in what? Right to vote, right to participate. What did the lady say? You can freely form or join political parties. That's another right. Stand for public office. Of course, any citizen can stand. I mean, I'm not particularly targeting, maybe chancellor and faculty can stand, I don't know. Freely disagree with views and policies of public leaders. Yeah. So these are generally some of the political rights that you have, you enjoy. And I'll come later on to how do we ensure that you have these rights. Now I'll come to some economic rights. Anyone tell me what economic rights does anyone have?
Pay for equal work.
Yeah, good. Equal pay for equal work. Then a lot of the employers are in violation of that, but that's another story. Right to a fair wage. Safe working conditions. This is another one. And that was one of the issues I think the NGT had with regard to rat hole mining in Meghalaya. Apart from the fact that it was supposedly polluting the environment and the rivers and all, but also safe working conditions. There were a lot of casualties were going unreported. So that is why the NGT came down heavily with a ban. And one of the conditions was the safe working condition. You cannot expect someone, you may give him a fair wage, but you have to give him safe working conditions also. Right to form trade unions. No one had that. And what rights first I told you? What was the first one? Civil rights. The next one was? Next is? And the next we come to is some social rights. Any idea?
Popularity is there.
Huh?
Without implementation, popularity is there.
Yes, probably, you're right. No, but this is now we come to that also. We are only saying what your rights are, and I'll come to certain other issues later. Health services, you know what MHRC is? The Meghalaya Health Insurance Scheme. I don't know how popular it is, but how implementation leaves much to be desired. I don't want to be a critic. Then I go to the government and say that I have lost my job, I have no means of livelihood, so I've come to the social security, the social welfare department, and they give you some portion of that amount of money. 10,000 you have got the salary, and 10,000 has gone to the government. Now 10,000 which has gone to the government, eventually that some portion of that money is given to you so that you can, carry on without, having been evicted from your house or something. Now this scheme is there in Western countries, but then the scheme also tends to get abused because if you are a potential employee, I may not want to employ you because if I pay you, I have to pay, instead of 10,000 rupees, I have to pay how much? Huh? Yes, I have to eventually pay 20,000. 10,000 to you and 10,000 to the government. So I'd rather look for someone who is under the radar, not regularized, and pay 10,000 and avoid paying 10,000 to the government. So enlightened you a bit as to what the MHRC is all about. When was the MHRC constituted? Huh? Which month? Okay. Yes.
Sir, you have to give the prize.
Oh, and one more thing. See, MHRC can inquire into violations of human rights in respect of matters which are related to any of the entries in list 2 and 3 of the 7th schedule. That means what? That means list 1 is armed forces. So if against the army, it doesn't come to the Meghalaya Human Rights Commission, atomic energy, foreign affairs. It's basically list 2 and 3. That is public order, police, prisons, agriculture, fisheries, taxes, whatever. And the other list 3 is, concurrent list is preventive detention. What is the act in Meghalaya now for preventive detention? One of the acts? Any idea? What does MPDA stand for, the acronym? I'm like a schoolmaster. Meghalaya Preventive Detention Act. There is an act which police can pick you up, apprehension or whatever, of you are creating disorder, and so you have a redressal with the commission.